Good morning. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another edition of the Morning Breeze, man. Always rocking with you guys, as always, man. Outside of me, I got my guy, Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, in the building.
That's right. We're back. We're back, baby.
Yeah.
And just when I thought I was away from nonsensical running back talk, here we go.
That's right. Give me more.
Pulling me back in, Jordan Jason.
Give me more.
Can't stand it.
I want all the running backs.
As of yesterday, the Nick Chubb rumors are really heating up. And I mean, caliente.
Ooh, sizzle.
I know some Spanish.
Oh, por favor.
Calm down. I didn't fit there either. Will we rather see Nick Chubb, J.K. Dobbins, or the field in Chicago? That's what we're going to discuss on today's episode. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. Leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. It's going to be a very, very interesting day of just nonstop running back rumors. Ladies and gentlemen, the date is 4/29/2025. It's 7:14 in the morning. And Jordan JC.
What do you get, Pat?
Comcast can suck it.
Oh.
Making me late for my own show.
A little technical difficulties here and there.
Making me late for my own show.
Doesn't stop us.
They can't slow us. Well, they technically did slow us
They
down.
slowed just a little bit, yeah.
In theory, they could completely shut us down. This whole show is predicated on internet connectivity. Oh, that's how my morning started there, Breeze Nation. Breeze Nation, what's good? It's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. Of course, joined by Mr. Medium Sub, Jordan JC.
Yo.
Need y'all go out there and hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. You know what to do.
Come on. Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push your button.
You heard what she said.
Y'all heard what Sue Young said. Hit that like button, man. Subscribe to the page. You said what?
Yeah, I said, all right, Garen Thomas. Get the day going.
Garen, whoa. All righty. Corinne Steffen. Every now and then a comment just throws you off. Listen, yesterday we heard the report that the Nick Chubb conversation to Chicago could be happening. I did a breaking news video on that yesterday. And a lot of people were looking at it and saying, well, how do we know that he's talking about the Bears? I think this is the
math.
There's no one else that needs a running back in the NFC North. The Vikings have Jordan Mason as their backup. I would assume the Packers are looking to give Marshawn Lloyd his shot after dealing with injury to start the season last year.
Jacobs,
and we know what's going on in Detroit.
Yep.
So, to me, I think the Chubb conversation is basically Nick Chubb is close to signing a deal with the Chicago Bears. Now, my question to you, though, Jordan JC, today. Well, first off, let's start there. Are you on the you want a little Bear Chubb in Chicago? Are you looking for a little Bear Chubb here in Chicago?
Nothing wrong with the
is
Chubb.
that something that makes sense to you?
Don't mind the Chubb, okay? You know what I feel about running backs, even though I got real hot and bothered by the 7th round pick in Kyle Manangai.
I
got excited. You dang right I got excited because that guy is Ginty Jr. But if you're talking about somebody who's already established in the league, yeah, you get a guy like Nick Chubb, I'm fine with taking a chance on him. Now, here's a guy who in his first 4 years, 4 Pro Bowls. I mean, if you look at the numbers, he is an elite running back. Of course, the last 2 years, he has been kind of hurt. pretty bad. And I should know because that was the year I picked him up for fantasy at the beginning of the season. And he went down with a unfortunate ACL injury. And so he's been trying to recover from that. And Cleveland let him go. And so I still think that, I still think that he has a lot left in the tank at 29 years old. Now, I know you believe that sometimes running backs, after about 4 years of production, they kind of phase out. Now, this could be going that way, but I'm willing to take a chance. You saw some of the highlights. This man was putting up 8,000 pounds in leg lifts and hopping over,
Somebody commented, they said he was squatting like 650, I think.
Oh, it's utterly ridiculous. No, I saw it. He gets in the gym. He's a gym rat. But
the bar bends around his shoulders as he's like pushing back up. Like it's
doggone right.
It's he's got some meaty
Mr. Meaty will get there one day too. I'm going to be lifting 800 pounds.
You probably can do it now.
You doggone right. I'll lift 800 pounds of steak.
You got extra gut. That don't mean that you're not strong. I've seen you lift more than you probably should be able to.
Let's not give away my secrets. All right. No. I don't want people knowing how strong I am. All right? But anyway, no, Nick Chubb. Yes, I would love to take a Nick Chubb to kind of beef up this running back room, give some competition to the younger guys. Even though I do like a DeAndre Swift, I believe that he could be maybe your 1-2 punch with DeAndre Swift, and if he gets going, then you pretty much found a gem for the cheap. I would love to see what kind of contract you're going to give him, because that's the biggest thing is what are you willing to pay him? The last 2 years, clearly he's not deserving of something huge. So maybe you get him on a cheaper deal, a prove it deal. Then yes, I would love to have Nick Chubb on the roster.
I think this is kind of what I said yesterday on the video, but to me, right, like I understand the want to go get Nick Chubb, and if you can get him I did say this, if you can get him at a league minimum deal, if you can get him at an extremely, like I'm talking sub $2 million deal,
whoa,
go get him, right? And maybe it's or it's a 2-year, $2.5 million deal, but he gets all of it in one seat, right? Like, okay, I understand what you're doing there. Basically, you're giving him a prove it deal, and you figure out what the heck is happening when you got to deal with it. But my whole thing is bringing in Nick Chubb. On one side of it, this is not in my mind, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley situation. With Saquon Barkley, especially, right? He was 26 years old going into his, 27 years old going into his age 28 season when they made the move to go get him. They re-signed him to a contract that basically would put him through 30, but gave themselves some interesting outs and then restructured that contract once they were like, oh, now we may actually want this guy here for the long term, or I guess extended the contract. But the Chubb situation is not only is he coming off of 2 major injuries, but he's also going into his age 30 season where that's in running back years, that's a very different world. 28, 27 going on 28 to 30 or 29 going on 30, but going on 30 in the beginning of the season, just about, like, to me, that now you're giving the 30-year-old who could be good the carries that you probably should be giving a young buck that you're hoping to see a ton out of, especially if you feel like your offensive line is fixed.
I feel like here's the pros and cons of this. I feel like it's a positive, it's a double positive in a sense, because you already have the depth there. There's another running back who I like that they actually got. I'm not sure if he'll stick, but I believe his name is Deion Hampton, the undrafted free agent running back as well, who kind of reminds me of like an old school Brandon Graham type, that just is a mauler as well. And so you have some depth at running back already. You bring in Nick Chubb in, you're not necessarily leaning on him to be the guy that he was 2 years ago when he ran for over 1,500 yards, gave you 12 touchdowns. You wish you could get that production. You hope that, somehow, some way he can return to form. But yes, I agree with you. Once a running back gets to a certain age, he kind of fizzles out. You don't rarely see or normally see a running back come back from injury and get into those twilight years and perform still at the same level. We've seen the likes of maybe a few. I don't know how old Adrian Peterson was when he came back from injury and just like completely dominated. There's outliers, but that's the thing, is that it's not the norm. So, as you've mentioned many of times, we have plenty of running backs that we can lean on and move forward with. I just love the fact that, yes, you bring him in here, you bring a vet running back that knows how to play the game well, that I believe is really a really good fit with this roster and with this team, can mentor these younger guys and kind of spell them at times. Like you don't need to lean heavily on him that way. He can stay healthy, he can stay upright, and hopefully he can stay away from injury.
Yeah, listen, I'm not sitting here telling you that a healthy Nick Chubb, it wouldn't be impactful. I don't know if he'd be impactful at the same rate, but you also wouldn't ask him to be the same guy. But I just think, right, like, I guess if you want to say he's got that Superman ability, right, where you see him now, we talked about the weightlifting and all of that, where he is kind of a freak of nature in that sense. The 2 injuries he had, essentially, the leg is something he can't control, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was all a part of the tackle. And then the broken foot, I mean, I guess you can sit there and go, yeah, but like those are injuries that, they're not career ending. And if he's, come back from the surgery stronger, we've seen that happen. But again, I wouldn't invest heavily in it to take the chance. I think this is the fun name. This is the next fun name that we wanted to turn to. You know what I mean? It's like you got running backs on the roster, although I don't know how much Ben Johnson believes in all of them. You've got, you just drafted the arguably one of the best running backs in the Big Ten, a Big Ten that included Travion Henderson and included Quinshon Judkins, and you drafted him in the back end of the 7th round. He can pass block. That he can run the football well. Does he have amazing breakaway speed? No, but like, to me, it's don't sit there and try and go for the hot name just because you missed out on all the hot names you should have got in the draft, right? That's like being in the club at 2 a.m. and being like, I missed out on every chick I wanted to go home with. Mm-hmm. Sheila, how you doing? You know what I mean? It was like,
come on down.
Those don't let the street lights hit them. Kind of nice, you know what I mean?
Why her name got to be Sheila?
Yeah,
Sheila, come on.
Sheila, how you doing? No offense to all the Sheilas out there, but no, like I don't want to see the Bears get into that situation, right? Like that's where I think that you don't overcompensate for a mistake that you had by going out there and signing another one, I guess.
I think this is them doing their due diligence, because the draft, let's just be honest, the draft didn't fall the way the Bears wanted it to. If we're going to be completely honest, they tried to get a running back way before the 7th round. Multiple times. And that's why they kept trading back. And every time they were right there trying to get a guy, the guy got taken right before they picked. And so it was just unfortunate the way the draft, fell. And Ryan Poles said as much. You need your plan Bs, and you don't want to give all of your draft stock up to move up. You want to kind of just be patient and just see how the board falls, and then you plan accordingly. And so I think this is why they're going this route, just to kind of make sure that every stone has been unturned and looked under. And Nick Chubb is a viable name. Really, really good stats his first 4 years. He's a viable name.
Amazing.
Yeah, like he literally is or was one of the elite running backs in the league. And so, if he, like I said, if he can show any sort of glimpse of that or version of that, even though he is going into his age 30 season, why not at least bring him in and get a chance, get a look at him, being the team that's interested in him in the NFC North.
Yeah. I mean, listen, and just am I going to say I'm outraged if Nick Chubb is brought in here because it's a probably a cheap deal no matter what? I don't think that there's a lot of teams beating down the door to go get Nick Chubb. No, I'm not going to lose my mind here. What I will say is this, everything I just said about Nick Chubb, times that by 10 for J.K. Dobbins.
Oh,
too injury prone. Way too.
You don't like J.K., huh?
J.K. is Listen, like the thing about Nick Chubb that is actually somewhat enticing, I guess, is at least there is the freak of nature aspect to him where you kind of go, oh, well, maybe this makes sense, right? Like with J.K. Dobbins is a more regular running back than the running backs we got on the roster now. Like, he's not elite. And that literally would be signing somebody just for the name. He's only had 2 even remotely solid seasons, and both of those seasons are sub 1,000-yard rushing seasons. Like, at least with Nick Chubb, it's like, well, you know, maybe the fact that he can lift 650, and I saw him like doing lunges basically across an entire stadium, and I saw him, you know, doing hurdles in the workout room, and like he's just a workout warrior. Maybe his body will bounce back. At least there's an element where you go, hey, maybe this guy's special. J.K. Dobbins to me don't even seem special. It just seems like, all right, well, we missed on everybody else. Might as well just sign one.
Well, I mean, okay, I am looking over the previous injury history of J.K. Dobbins. It is pretty bad. It includes a torn ACL. Yeah, it's a long list. Yeah, it's definitely a grocery list. It's a torn ACL in 21 that sidelined him for the season. You had a torn Achilles tendon in 23 that limited him to only playing 1 game in the season. You had an MCL sprain. His most recent injury was a sprained MCL in his left knee. And so yeah, there's a lot of doubt there. There's a lot of inconsistency, and of course, we already know your best ability is availability, and when you're not, you know, then your value kind of takes a hit. Now, I will say he's still a nice running back when he's healthy. 4.4 speed. Had some decent seasons. I know he hasn't actually hit over 1,000 yards, but I mean, when you look at the yards per carry, he's been pretty good when he has been given the rock. 9 touchdowns last year with the Chargers. And so are you saying, you know, hopefully he can build off that? You know, this is a younger prospect. And so that's the only thing that I look at. He's a few years younger. He's 26 years old. Yeah. And so could he get past the injury bug and maybe give you a decent season? Again, I don't mind taking a chance on either one of these guys because, again, you're not bringing them in to be running back 1. It's not like we have no running backs on the roster and we're saying we absolutely need you guys to be the bell cow. We need you to be the 300 carries per season and just go for the MVP, be a Saquon Barkley type. No, I'm looking for you to give your portion of what you think you can do, and then we'll really rely heavily on the other guys that are already on the roster.
Only thing I would push back on is if you're bringing this guy in, not to say that either one, Chubb or Dobbins, would end up being the number 1, right? But like I do think they would be heavily relied on because you would be moving on from somebody on this team. You're not going to take 5 running backs onto the roster. Right? Yeah. Right now, you've got Travis Homer, you've got Roschon Johnson, you've got DeAndre Swift. You're just technically, you already have 5. You've got Ian Wheeler. Now, right, Ian Wheeler's on a nothing deal. Like he can be cut. Travis Homer's a 3-phase special teamer. He's not going anywhere. Roschon Johnson's a Ryan Poles draft pick. He's probably going to get every single opportunity known to man to get over his concussions for the rest of his days, and they may extend him, right? Ryan Poles loves his guys. DeAndre Swift's here no matter what. It's $8 million. You don't save any money by cutting him. You don't get an advantage by cutting him. Like, he's here no matter what. So that means either Kyle Monangai, who's the new kid on the block, is not going to make this team. The guy, right, is not going to make this team. Or Nick Chubb or J.K. Dobbins are not really an option for you in the long run. Like, and to me, I feel like the running back position is one where if your option is get the banged up guy or go with the possible new guy, running back is one of those weird positions where it's like the new guy kind of makes more sense because we see the new guy end up panning out more times than not. And listen, I get it. He's a 7th round pick. And because of that, you know, everybody's like, well, this is not a serious player in the future.
Yeah, okay.
But Why not C? Because the worst case scenario is there's a bunch of other guys who still were impactful in college who are now undrafted free agents that you may be able to get something more out of.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You talked about Deion Hankins getting signed onto this team. Like, those are the things where, like, I feel like that's where San Francisco excelled at, because everybody was like, well, you're not going to have a run game this season. And then they had so much of a run game that one of the running backs had to leave to go to Minnesota just to get some more reps because there were too many running backs.
Mm-hmm. I see what you're saying. Like, the running back by committee, which by the way, I've never liked, but it makes sense.
Depends on how many. Depends on how many. Two is normal.
Two. Well,
the Bears have been
like
trying to do it like 3 or 4 swapping them in.
Yeah. That never works. But I mean, if you're looking at a running back to try and get out the way, I mean, wouldn't you mind a J.K. Dobbins or a Nick Chubb over a Travis Homer or even a Roschon at this point? Like, for me, that would address more of the depth at the running back position. I wouldn't mind letting one of those guys go if we're talking about revamping the running back roster.
Well, Roschon, look, I mean, Roschon is he is where he is right now. I don't think that anyone believes Roschon can't play. I think the concern on Roschon is every single season we're talking about him being concussed. He's a gap scheme running back.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's nowhere for you to go where you're not going to get hit upside your head. So you kind of gotta not get concussions. I don't believe that the Guardian hat is going to help that much. I think he actually did get banged up after having on the Guardian cap. So, like, clearly, it's not something that's doing this phenomenal job here, right? Travis Homer, like I said, is a all-phase special teamer. Mm-hmm. And we view that as, he's just a special teams guy, but like, to be good on special teams, you need those guys that can do a little bit of everything. To be a special team, you need those guys that can, I'm on kickoff and I'm on punt return, and I'm like, because they're versatile, they can be captains, they've been there before. Like, you're not, I get it, he's a running back by name, but you're not getting rid of Travis Homer. And then it's Swift.
You don't need him. Yeah.
You do, though. Especially now, because now, right, the special team rules are actually like, hey, run this football back. So I think that you're probably in this spot where you're either going with your guy or you don't believe in the guys that you just added to the roster. Which, I mean, that would be, I would almost say that would be a bigger indictment, because you continued to move back into spots that you were out of reach of the next running back. Mm-hmm. Like, at a certain point, it has to become, I get it, BPA and all of that, but if you believe that guy's your guy, take your guy. And I feel like Ryan Poles all day was like, well, he'll get to me. And then we end up in the 7th round with Kyle Monungai, who I'm not that mad about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I'm
mad at all about.
No, not at all. I already told you about Kyle Monungai. Yeah, I think he will be a guy. He'll be a guy.
We thought you were going to lose yourself.
Oh, you wait till week 10. I'm telling you, week 10. I don't care if anybody in the chat can want to bet a stake on week 10. Kyle Monungai is going to be the guy. He's going to take over running back one dude.
P Kid officially has the worst stake bet of all time.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
That was
the tight end bet. It was just random too. It's like, hey, I'm gonna bet you right now because everybody's doing stake bets with Drew. What was it during the draft party?
During day one of the draft, he bet that Tyler Warren would be drafted by the 49ers because George Kittle was getting too old and the 49ers were ready to move on. So not only did he not get the field, so basically he bet one spot versus the field on every draft pick in the draft over this one spot. But then George Kittle just got re-signed for $74.6 million.
It's 4 years, 76.4 million, 40 million guaranteed. That doesn't sound like a guy that's about to be replaced.
Yeah, that's the worst stake bet of all time. That was terrible.
But yeah, that was funny. But my thing is, again, I like the fact that you didn't hit when you were supposed to hit in the draft, and at least you're going out and you're saying, well, let's take a chance on these guys, because if the rumors are true, as you mentioned the other day, and you're doing just addition by subtraction, Chicago is possibly the team that wants Nick Chubb at least to come in and see what he has, see what he's got left in the tank. I have no problem with that. I love how Chicago is attacking this entire offseason has been very exciting for me, because you've addressed the trenches on both sides in free agency. And then when you got to the draft, you added on to that. You added on to the depth. Like, why stop there? Why stop with, okay, you got running backs that I like, and Calvin Guy, I like the undrafted one. I like DeAndre Swift to a certain extent as well. But why stop there? Like, for me, it's just about continuing to try and find as many gems to make this thing hum as possible, as good as possible.
No, 100%. Listen, I'll say this. With how the rumor was presented, I don't even know if it's a rumor at this point, because unless another team is going to be like, we want Nick Chubb as our like third running back. And if he's okay with that, I guess, like, it's probably going to be the Bears. I would assume he's not going to go to a spot where he's not going to be a number 2 option on the team. So I'm expecting him probably to sign here in Chicago. It really just comes down to the amount of money that you're going to sign him to. Because remember, we were like, okay, you signed a running back in DeAndre Swift, like, whatever. You probably paid him like 2.5. You paid him what? Like, right, like. Like, we all were stunned when we saw $8 million come across. Like, you can not like running backs and you were surprised. I mean, you can love running backs and you were surprised that DeAndre Swift got $8 million a year.
Yeah.
Like, it's so, like, as long as I'm not sitting here at 4:00 today looking and just like, Nick Chubb, 3 years, $16 million. Be like, what the heck are we doing? I can deal with Chubb coming in. Again, like I said, you're taking a chance on the freak of nature. I just feel like the good teams usually find that other running back that can step in. And listen, Kyle Monunguy's a draft pick. You can put him on the practice squad if you don't want him to get, snatched up or anything. There's a bunch of stuff you still can do while going after Nick Chubb, while going after, if you want to, J.K. Dobbins. But I just feel like now you're taking reps away from guys that could be out there getting better.
Yeah, no, true. You laugh and joke about the contract. Where I'm at with it, where I would be okay with bringing either Chubb or Dobbins in, I would probably only give him a 1-year deal. Again, a prove-it deal. I wouldn't go any further than that. I don't know why you would give him a 2 or 3 year deal, because of the injury history. So I don't know if I would give him 1.5 million, like you said. I'd probably give him a little bit more than that. Maybe 1 for 3. 1 for 3 seems reasonable to me. If you can get around that range realistically, I'm saying, okay, bring him on the roster. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah. I mean,
1 for 1.5 is that's a little disrespectful.
Nah, come on, dog. 2
Nick Chubb?
season-ending injuries, and he was bad in his last season. See, here's the other thing you got to take into account too. You've overpaid for a lot of question marks, right? You paid a lot of money for Grady Jarrett, who we all literally can see is past his prime, and you paid for it for a reason, right? I believe you paid for it because he still does give you the production, and I think you're trying to establish some accountability on the team. Grady Jarrett does that. I think same thing with Joe Thuney, although Joe Thuney's still in all-pro form coming off a Super Bowl appearance, right? Very different situation. You're going to have to pay a little bit more there. But you've also paid a lot of money to Dayo Odeyingbo, who I believe is going to take a step in the right direction. I think is going to have a solid bounce-back season here because of everybody else who's on this line. But I also believe that Mitch Trubisky could be the white Cam Newton at one point. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you be wrong. Like, I wonder if you can take a chance to, I guess, pay more to get a guy like Dobbins on the roster. Then this would be the contract I think you need to underpay on.
Now here's where I want to kind of broaden the conversation, because I was thinking about this and I noticed somebody actually put in the chat, and I saw this name kind of come up as far as free agents out there still that maybe we could be picked up. Do you see any other position on the Bears that you personally would like to see maybe get a little bit more depth? Preferably. We've gone through the process of getting a lot of line. We got the Isaac Trapillos. You got your guy from Michigan State. Like, I feel like the depth on the line has been good, but do you feel like maybe the other side of the trenches, maybe another linebacker? Because I did not like that 4th round pick in Hippolyte, just be honest with you. Do you think there's something that we should still be attacking as far as a specific position?
I mean, I would say linebacker, but Isaiah Simmons, I believe, just got signed by the Packers yesterday, if I'm not mistaken.
Man, I really thought he was going to be a beast coming out of college. I think coming out of Clemson, I believe.
And I think that's the other thing too, right? Like, I would say linebacker, but your options right now are like Shaq Thompson and. I mean, that's kind of it with Isaiah Simmons off of the market. Like, I think a DB is set, right? Like, where's your concern at DB?
Wait, Isaiah Simmons, or are you talking about the safety, Justin Simmons?
Justin Simmons was the one that was signed yesterday.
Yeah, safety. Okay, yeah, no, he's nice. He's nice, but he's age 31.
Isaiah Simmons being the one that's on the market,
got you,
is not good. You know what I mean? There's a reason he's on the market at, what is he, 26? 27?
Yeah.
26 years old. Like, I'm not tripping. Don't make me double doubt myself. Dr. Pop said it was Isaiah Simmons who was signed.
Okay, I thought I saw Justin
Packers
Simmons. I don't see Isaiah
Simmons. Yeah, all right.
I apologize. All right. Excuse me. So Justin Simmons is still on the market then.
Yeah, I'm
the
good.
Safety. Yeah, I'm good on that. I'm not trying to find a safety, but I mean, what about a Zadarius Smith? Maybe beefing up the edge. Taking him away from a contender. He was on the Lions the previous year. I'd be fine with someone like Zadarius, who may have a little bit left in the tank.
Only thing I'll say about Zadarius Smith, which I guess would be interesting, but I don't think it's something that Dennis Allen is as worried about like we are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I said, now he does fit with Dennis Allen right within those measurables, 6'4", 270. So maybe if he feels, coming off of the end, he can gum up things in the run game, still get to the quarterback a little bit. I mean, he had a 9-sack season last year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's 2 years old, though.
Got some talent out there, 32 years old. The only question that I would have is, where does Dennis Allen value his pressure coming from, or does he think he can get that bounce back season with Dayo Odeyingbo by adding as much pressure as he has up the middle? You know what I mean? That's the only question that I would have there. Just I don't think Dennis Allen believes that you need elite edge pressure to get to the quarterback. I think he believes that you need elite interior pressure,
which is what they got in droves this past offseason, which I do love them addressing that. I'm with you. I think linebacker or edge is kind of the route that I would take too. You got a couple of names out here. Kaiser Wright, who was a decent playmaker in Arizona for the Cardinals. There's some names out here that I think the Bears could still go after outside of running back, again, to kind of just do a little bit of their due diligence and kind of beef up this roster. But overall, I am happy with the direction that this team has gone. I again, if I had to give a grade for the entire, from free agency to draft, to other picks.
Don't go giving away Thursday topics.
Oh, are we?
I
meant to say I was going to save it for Thursday's topic. That's what I meant.
What a tease! What a tease by this guy.
Look at that forethought I had.
Yeah. I'll go spending all the money early. That was phenomenal. Actually, let me write that down so I remember.
Got ahead of myself there. All right. Fine. Jeez.
Hey, man, listen, I think that it'll be interesting to see what the Bears do here. If they do add Nick Chubb, like I would just assume I would tell everybody to absolutely shut down all your hopes on Kyle Monunga. Just enjoy him in the preseason. You know what I mean? Just like Ian Wheeler. Enjoy him in the preseason.
Oh no.
Well, Ian Wheeler ended up getting hurt. I ain't gonna lie to you. Ian Wheeler probably would have made the team with how we was running the football last year. But enjoy him in the preseason. Enjoy that training camp video where you're like, look at him go. What is he doing?
Is that right?
We're getting off.
What's going on? What are you doing?
Hey guys,
doing? Hafner producer over here.
This is his thing. The episode you were on, he was naked for some reason.
Now he's getting giddy to get on the morning show. What do you want?
Hey, by the way, over 100 in the chair.
Hey,
over 200 in the chair. Over 300 in the chair. Over 400 in the chair.
Now he's taking my pump.
Oh,
doing the margarita now.
That's the Three Amigos. That's what I'm going. That's what I'm going to do.
Right, that's right. That is the Three Amigos. I forgot. Hey,
Jordan, he came in here and stole your whole flow, bro. You gonna let him just do that, bro?
I wasn't sure what to do. I got it now. I got it.
Jesus Christ.
We getting offline. What are you here for?
I don't know what you came in the last second.
I was in the car trying to get back, drop the baby off. Can we go here? Go ahead.
So you came home, got naked again, and put on a robe to jump on a camera, is what you say?
Jesus Christ.
Good morning breeze, man. I got my morning robe on, man.
Hey, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Get him top billing. For Mr. Medium Stuff, George JC. I didn't want you to be under that, JC.
That's okay. That's okay.
The super producer, Joel Holt.
Christ.
Your boy Pat the designer back at it again. Y'all stay
safe. You need to make some merch out of robes. That'll be your next merch. Some Windy City Breeze robes.
That's nuts. Head out. One love. Peace.
Man just came in here.
Showed up smiling ear to ear like a villain.
I was trying to get here for the running back talk and then switch to defensive alignment.
Oh boy.
JC, fight him off.
Look,
don't you got a Bears Breeze to record?
Yeah. I gave you a show already.
Well, you left the show.
It's only because I got my exposure here. Now you want to come in.
You got it rolling now.
Hey, Joe, you ever gonna post another video?
Oh, yep.
Leave me alone.
Whole draft went by.
I'm starting to think
Not
he
a
does a
single
once a week
video on
show.
any of these mugs.
I think it's the once a week show. I think that's what he's going for.
Once a month.
Trying to get. I know.